Hello there everyone, it's Kathy Champion and thank you for tuning in to my YouTube channel today. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in North Carolina, but I service people all over the United States, and I would love to have your business if you are not currently working with a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Now, of course, if you already have a demonstrator, please continue to work with your demonstrator as long as you're happy with that person and they're treating you well. We never ever want to take anyone else's customers, but if you are looking for someone that will give you advice and take care of you and all your stamping needs, I would love to be that person. Okay, here's our host code for February. I'm going to get rid of some of these little housekeeping tips really quick. If you spend $50 or more before shipping and tax and use this host code when you check out, you will receive a personal gift from me. Spending $50 will also earn you a celebration item through the 28th of this month. So it runs through February 28th, and then this celebration campaign will be over, but we'll have another one that will take place when the new mini catalog comes out, and I believe that's in August. So this year we're having two campaigns instead of just one, and it's 2 months now and 2 months then, rather than the 3 months that used to be at the beginning of the year, which is kind of a win-win because we get a chance to earn free products twice in a year, which is great. Okay, with that being said, also anyone that uses this host code and places any size order in my store during the month of February will receive their name into the drawing for a stamp set, and that stamp set is a touch of ink, and I used it to make this card just the other day. This is posted on my YouTube channel as well. So with all that being said, we're going to get busy today on our card. I saw a couple of demonstrators that used this particular design for not the stamp set and not the paper, but this card layout. And so I am casing their card layout, but I'm also changing it up and making it mine. This is called a double slider card, and this is why. It has a double slider in it that slides up, and you got the opportunity for 2 messages. So this is a thank you card, and this is using the Hey Girlfriend stamp set, and the thank you came from Peaceful Moments. I used a Coastal Cabana, Playing with Patterns, Calypso Coral. This was also Playing with Patterns. I used a circle punch, and I stamped and colored my little girl, the puppy and the kitten, and I put a balloon, like the puppy's got a balloon tied to his collar. And this card was so much fun to make, and I'm going to show y'all how to do this. It looks complicated. There are a lot of pieces, but if you follow along with me, anybody can do this card. I do need to grab one other thing before we get started, and that is one of my punches. We do need to use a punch to make our track, and the classic label punch is the punch that I'll be using. So I'm going to leave that sit right there just for a moment, and I'm going to show you the pieces. I'm actually going to do 2 of these on camera today. I thought that it wouldn't hurt for you to see me do it twice. The first thing you're going to need is a card base, and this is the thick basic white. The thick basic white, and it's cut at 11 by 4 1/4, and I scored it at 5 1/2. And I got a really good crease on it. Now this card's not going to open in the traditional way like this or like this. It's going to open like this. Actually, it's not even going to open. We're going to build the slider inside of this card, and everything's going to come up from the top. So it's really a neat little card the way it is engineered and the way it's made. We have 2 pieces with mats, and these are cut at 3 1/4. Let me make sure I'm getting those right. 3 1/4 by 4 1/2, and this piece is 3 inches by 4 1/4. And what they do is they layer on top of each other. And I just thought it would be precious to do this black and white one. And so you want to cut 2 of those. You want to cut 2 of these and 2 of the solid black, and that will help you getting your pieces that you need. One of these is going to go on the front, and one is going to go is going to be the piece that pulls out, the larger piece that pulls out. Then you're going to need the smaller piece that pulls out, and this piece is 2 1/4 by 3 1/2, and then the mat that goes over it is 2 inches by 3 1/4. So 2 inches by 3 1/4, and that is going to layer right there like that. Okay, those are our these two are our slider mechanism, and this is our front panel. So I'm just going to lay them over so we can work on it. And these are from the In Bloom or the Pierce Bloom dies. And this die set, y'all know I have used this and I love it. I am totally in love with these dies. They're so pretty. They're stitched flowers. They look sort of whimsical, and they are just beautiful. And I did them out of white and black. And I've got the little white pieces to go on my black flowers, and the black centers to go on my white flowers. And I also have a, oh, we also need these two little pieces. I almost forgot about these. This is actually what slides up and down our track that our pieces hook on. And these are 2 by 1 inch, and you need 2 of those as well. So I'm going to lay those right there with our pieces for the track. And then I've got these white and black leaves and the little flowers, and we're going to decorate using these. We're also going to need to do a sentiment, and I haven't come up with exactly what I want to do with that yet, but we'll get to that as we're working with the card. We'll decide. I've got a couple stamp sets over here with sentiments on them that we'll decide what we're going to do. Alright, I'm going to lay these pieces over here so they don't get messed up. And we are going to, and I also did this little bow. I love that bow. That little bow is absolutely adorable. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make our little slots for our slider, and that is done by using this punch. But you are going to have to use these 2 pieces as your guides. And what you're going to do is put your card on your craft mat or something that where you can kind of center it up, and you want to have the same amount over here as you do over here. And as you can see, I laid that down where I've got like 1/8 of an inch here and about 1/8 of an inch there, and then that gives me that little 2 inch place right there in the middle. So I'm going to hold that, and all I want to do is take my pencil and draw a line right there, just like that. Now we're going to turn it around and do the same thing on this end. So again, I'm going to get this just about like that, and I'm going to line this up right just like we did before on that 2 inch mark, and I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to draw another line. Now, this is nothing but a guideline. We can actually erase that. Of course, no one's going to see it because your mechanism is going to be over it. So what you're going to do now is open your card up so you just are showing this piece right here. And what we're going to do is push our punch all the way in. Oops, do it upside down so you can see. Push it all the way in until we see that line. And if you are following me, see the line right there? You want that to be at the very end of your punch. And make sure that your punch is all the way down into as far as it will go down. And once you get it there, you're going to punch. And then you're going to move it down and do the same thing here, making sure everything's lining up. And punch. And then you're going to turn it over, and this is what's going to make your track. You're going to turn it over and you're going to do the other side, the same thing to the other side. You're going to push it all the way in, line this up till it's right there at the top of that line, punch, and then slide it down and do the very same thing and punch. This will give you your track. And you can save these little pieces, especially the 2 good ones, because you can use those for sentiment, so that way it's not a waste. Now, if you want to, if you're one of those people that just don't like marks on your cards, even though, like I said, nobody's going to see that. It's going to be hidden, but you can erase it. You don't need it any longer. It's done its job. So now what we're going to do is these two pieces are going to come into play again. And what we're going to do is we're going to line that up under the bottom, just like that, making sure it's nice and straight. I'm going to lay it on my grid mat to make sure I've got it straight. And then you're going to lay this over top of it. Just like that. And now we need our mini glue dots. And you know, I laid out my big ones but did not get my small ones. Par for the course. Not a problem. We got them right here. And I'm also going to grab my Take Your Pick tool, because that is like my favorite tool in my craft room. I use it for everything. So I'm just going to come in and grab one of these mini glue dots, and I'm going to hold this down, and I want that glue dot to go right there. And I need one in both tracks. This is what's going to allow your card to slide. Now once you get those in, you can go ahead and take your backers off. Oops, I moved that because I got my finger stuck on it. But let's, that's not what you want to do. You don't want it to stick until you're ready, for sure. Okay, I'm just going to bring that back in and make sure that this piece is nice and straight. And sit that down right in the middle. And now I am going to put this piece right over top of them. And we are just guesstimating, but it doesn't matter, because as long as they're attached, that's all that matters. Now this is our slider piece that's going to allow our sliding mechanism to go up and down. Easy peasy, right? Alright, the next thing we need to do is go ahead and adhere all of our mats. So I'm going to use, I'm trying to decide, do I want to use, I'm going to use wet glue. I like to have a little bit of wiggle room, so some liquid glue gives me that. So I'm just going to squiggle on, squiggle, is that a word? I'm not sure, but hey, it is a word for me. So I'm just going to squiggle on some glue, and then I'm going to adhere this down, just like that. So pretty. This paper right here is from the, oh, what is the name of it? It is the True Love Designer Series paper. This pack of paper is all black and white. It is gorgeous. If you are a fan of black and white, then you will love this paper. But the great thing about it is you can color these flowers, and there's a lot of floral patterns. You could even, if you were tedious enough, and I would probably not do these small flowers with my alcohol markers, but I would do it with colored pencils. I think they would be gorgeous with colored pencils. So, you know, just the thought, you could color all of this and it would be great. I am going to go ahead and I'm going to wipe this tip off because this stuff dries so quick. And I am going to squiggle my glue on the back of that piece. And all we're doing is making sure we have the even margin all the way around. And that looks good. So now these pieces are going to go like that, and they're going to be the two that pull up on our card. This piece here, we'll save this for the front of our card, and that's what our decorations are going to go on. You don't want too much on that piece that's going to move in and out. So if you put anything on that, you want to make sure absolutely no dimensionals. You want to glue everything flat so that it will, your mechanism will work well. Alright, that piece is done. So we've done all of our gluing. So now it's time to go ahead and get our mechanism. Now remember, we want to close our card with the bottom here, and we're going to move this mechanism all the way up to the top, like so. And we are going to attach this piece to the front. So remember, your smaller piece goes on the front, and your larger piece is going to go to the back. and that's what gives you that pull up. And once it's attached to this, then it will move up and down this track beautifully. So I'm just going to make sure that that's all the way up to the top, nice and tight. I am going to use some of my Stampin' Seal Plus because I want something that's going to really hold this. And this stuff right here is super strong because this little piece is going to get a workout. Let's put a little piece right here. And now what we want to do is make sure that, you know what, we want to make sure that these pieces go we want it to go all the way to the top. So I'm very carefully going to place this down just like so, and give it a good press so that it adheres. Now we're going to turn it over, bring it all the way back up to the top, and then we are going to do the same thing here. We're going to put adhesive on it. Lots of adhesive. Don't be shy. We want to make sure that it stays together. That looks good. So now what I want to do is I'm going to hold this up because I want to make sure that this piece is directly under this one. And I want to make sure it's nice and straight. Just like that. Now this piece should go up and down, just like so. Just like that. Isn't that neat? And I love that black and white. It's so pretty. So now we can go ahead and turn our card over so you're seeing the back part of that paper. And what we're going to do here, to keep this from dropping down, I am going to put a couple of dimensionals right here. And I'm going to use full size ones. And I'm going to put one right there and one right there and maybe one in the middle. And that's just going to give that a stopping point. And we're going to use tear and tape along here. So let me grab my tear and tape. And I'm going to turn this around because I seem like I can do better with it if it's sideways, especially when I'm putting tape down on the side. And I am going to run this as close over to that outer edge as I possibly can get it. And let's use something to tear our tape with. I like to do that so that I keep a nice straight edge on it. And anything that will hold that tearing tape down will work. I'm using my bone folder. And now I'm going to run another piece right under this, under these dimensionals. Just like that. And hold and tear. Now let's go ahead and make sure that this is slid against these, and I'm going to use that take your pick tool to pull up my backer. It is so cold and rainy. It's just a nasty cold rain here today. But I guess we missed the bullet because it stayed just above the freezing mark all day yesterday, all last night. So we did not get the awful snow that so many people got, but it has been so cold. So I am putting on a pot of homemade soup, my Brunswick stew, for supper tonight, and I am looking so forward to that, and some homemade cornbread. Sounds so yummy. I'm going to go ahead and pull these backers off of these, and making sure that everything is nice and even and not not askew, and that looks really, oops, I said it looked good and then I moved it. Alright, I'm going to sit those under that and bring that all the way up to the edge, and now just fold your card over. Just like that. That assures that everything is where it needs to be. Now we do need to make a little bit of a thumb, and I should have done that before I did this. I should have done that little, but see how that comes up, and then this piece is going to go over top of our workings to cover all of that up, and this will still move up and down in there. So let's see if I can get my punch in here. I should have done that before I put that in, and I always forget to do that. I forgot it on my other card as well. And I'm going to grab, I'm just going to grab my 1-inch punch, and I'm going to try to maneuver under here to see if I can get just a little bit of a half moon. And I'm going to do my best to see if I can even that up from the back as well. That can be a little tricky, so I advise you, see what I'm doing? I'm pushing this down under here, trying to line it up and get it about the same. Not bad. I don't think anybody can tell that that didn't belong there. So I did pretty good considering that I forgot. I always hate it when I forget to do a procedure that needed to go in prior to the other one, but hey, it happens. Now this piece right here, we're going to pop this up on dimensionals. So I'm going to use the larger dimensionals, and I'm going to put one on each corner, just like that. And there, and there. And just pop those off. I love the way this card looks. Now what you want to do when you're putting this down is you want to get it nice and even and covering the mechanism, but looking like it's not meant to cover anything. It's just there. And see, with putting those dimensions under it, it leaves everything free to move. Isn't that cute? So now what we're going to do is we're going to decorate this card. And I want to put this little bow, I think, right here. And we got all of these little pieces of black and white flowers. And I want this one to go here. And a little white. And we can pop all of this up. Anything that's on the front of this can be popped, because this is not going to interfere in our mechanism. Anything on here and here, I would say if you're going to glue it flat down. And now I've got this white flower and the little black middle. And then of course we've got white leaves. And we've got black leaves. I just love this black and white. It's so pretty. Then I've got a couple more leaves and a couple more flowers, and we could very easily pop those on here as long as we glue them flat. But let's see what else we want to do. I'm going to lay these over here because I'm not sure I want to do that yet. I am going to put these flowers together. So while I've got my glue here, and before I get another little snag on it, I'm going to use my take your pick tool with my putty end to set my middle down in my flower. And then I'm going to take and put a tiny bit of glue on the stem. And I'm going to tuck this right about there. So now we have our flower and our leaf together. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this one. A little bit of glue and take your pick tool and set the flower down. Now the glue's coming through those little holes, but that's okay. It will dry and it won't show. And we may even put a little rhinestone or something in there, so we're not going to be too concerned about that right this minute. A little bit of glue on here. And let's go ahead and put that leaf right there. And we're going to pop these up on some dimensionals, so I'm going to grab maybe 2, maybe 1. Let's see if we can get away with 2 without it showing. Oh yeah, we can do 2. So again, let's lift these up, because once we get the front decorated, then we can better see what else we want to put on this card. So I think I want this one to go like this. And let's get a couple on this one. Now see, that one is showing, so I'm going to take my take your pick tool and just pull it in like that. Sometimes you can manipulate them a little bit so they won't show. And let's put this one about here. And then I'm just going to take my take your pick tool and really press in on that glue dimensional there. That looks so pretty. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Now I wonder what that flower would look like on the bow. I think I like that. So we're going to put a little bit of glue on the bow and pop this flower right there. We're going to turn it over and we're going to put another dimensional right there. And we're going to put this at the top, right about here. Isn't that pretty? So now we need to decide what sentiment we're going to put on this card. And I'm not sure. I haven't really thought that far ahead. But let's see. I wonder if the happy birthday would work up here. Definitely would work here on a circle. And I wonder if the oval punch, the dual oval punch, would work. Let's see. And I think I want to do that. I don't know if the black, let's try it. Let's try a piece of black on the larger piece, and then let's try a piece of white. I don't think the birthday's going to fit on that, so we might have to look for a different sentiment. But I love that. That's so pretty, and I think it would really shine. And this is a good way you can always tell whether a sentiment is going to fit. Hold it upside down and lay your stamp over it, and you know, this just might work. Let's try it. We won't know until we try, and if it doesn't, then we can just regroup. No biggie. Alright, hang on for me 1 second. I just heard my oven and I gotta go grab it. I'll be right back. Alright, like I said, we don't know if this is going to work, but we're going to definitely try it. So I'm going to grab my Memento Tuxedo Black ink and a stamp block. And I'm going to use this long one because I think that will help guide me a little bit better to getting this on here. And I'm wondering, maybe this is a technique that people don't use quite as much as they used to, but we might just set this down. I'll probably get inky fingers, but you know, if we can make this work, I think this will be absolutely gorgeous like this. So I'll tell you what, let's try it straight on, and if I don't get it, maybe we'll try this way. So I'm going to ink that up really really good. And then I'm going to try to get over this without getting in the camera. Like so. Ah, it worked. Yay! That makes me a happy camper. Alright, let me get something to put this. I have got way too much stuff all over my desk. Alright. Got my little Stampin' Scrub, or simply chamois. I'm going to wet this side. And let's just go ahead and clean this off really quick. Just a little water and it cleans up your stamp so good. So, and I kind of go back and forth. When I want a really good thorough clean, my Stampin' Scrub is definitely my go-to. But for a quick little clean, the Simply Chamois can be your best friend. Alright, now for this one, remember we cannot put anything on here that's going to be sticking up because it's got to slide down behind here. So we're going to do flat on liquid glue. So I'm going to pick that up and hope I don't smudge it. And I'm going to put a good little amount of liquid glue. And then I want to get this on here nice and centered. It's hard to tell when it's on that black. Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah, did pretty good. And then I'm going to turn this over, and again, I'm going to put a good amount of glue. And we are going to put Happy Birthday right here. Oh, that's so pretty. I love it. And then let's see. What did I do with the rest of those flowers? I am not sure exactly where I put them. There is just no telling because, like I said, I have got some mess on my desk. I was going to take one of the little small flowers and put it. I'm not seeing them. Sometimes they slide underneath things and what have you. Let's see if I lay them over on this side of my desk. I don't see them over here either. I've got some pieces there for the other card that we're going to put together. Oh well. I guess I could put some more. I want to do Happy Birthday, but I want something up here as well. And I did punch another one of these. And we could tuck that right under there and say something like, hey chick, happy birthday. That would be cute. But you know what, I want to use that on the next card we're going to make. We're going to use the hey chick. So we're not going to do that one. Let's see what else we got up here that we could use. Hello there, happy birthday. That'll work. That will work, and I don't know if my thanks came out of here. Yep, thanks came out of this one. And we're going to do the hello there. That is a tiny little stamp. So we're going to get a tiny little block for a tiny little stamp. Look how cute that is. And we're going to put this on here and center it as best we can. And grab that Memento ink again. I'm going to move that out of my way. The least amount of stuff that I can have around me, the better chance I take of not making a mess. Are y'all like that? I know for me, I can make a mess in a heartbeat. I love that. That's so cute. So let's pull my little chamois back out again. And these chamois do stain. They stain quite a bit, but you can wash them clean. Just because they're stained don't mean they're not clean. So that's kind of a misconception with the chamois. Alright, I'm going to hold this up and I'm going to put some liquid glue on this as well. Let's cover up this ink pad before I make a total mess out of it. And then this little hello there is going to go right underneath here, just like that. And we are going to put a little hole in that because I'm going to use because I need to see exactly where the hole is going to punch. I'm going to actually choose to use a crocodile, and I'm going to use the larger hole punch because I want to tie a piece of black ribbon right here in the top, right above that hello there. Making sure I'm getting it nice and even. That looks good. And now we're going to, yeah, and see everything flows really well. Oh, I love it, I love it, I love it. Isn't that pretty? Such a beautiful black and white card. It's just something so elegant about black and white. And y'all all know how much I love black and white. I decided not to use this. I don't think I need it. I'm afraid if I put it here it's going to hang, and I really like that oval to kind of coincide with this one, so I'm going to go with that. But let me look at my ribbons, and I know I have a beautiful sparkly black, so let's see if we can find it. And it's this one right here. And I'm trying to remember glitter organdy ribbon. I know that went with some other ribbon, but I can't remember which one it was. And I did put a gold X on it. I can't remember why I did that either, but oh well. I know it's Stampin' Up, and I know this ribbon is, I believe it's still available. It's in our annual catalog. So it's so pretty. Let's see if we can get into it. There we go. Oh, this is so pretty. Look how gorgeous that is. Look at that sparkle. I love it. So I'm going to cut myself a little angle cut like that to help thread it in. And we are going to attempt to tie a bow. So I'm going to try doing it on the spool. Let's see how well I can do this with the spool. So we're going to tie that like that. I don't think I left myself enough. That's the bad thing about when you tie a bow. You have to have enough to make your loops. So let's take that out. Give ourselves a little bit more there, maybe about like that. And let's go ahead and tie it one more time. Just like so. Yeah, this will give me enough to make a bow, and hopefully it's going to be a pretty bow. I think this ribbon is just gorgeous. And I mean, how could a bow not be pretty with this ribbon? Let's try it like that and bring that under and grab it. And we're going to turn that one that way. Oh yeah, that's exactly what I wanted. Now we can cut this one off about here. And we'll trim this one about here. Let's see, let's go. Having trouble getting that angle with the card in my way, so there we go. And now we have this beautiful bow that's going to sit right up here on the top, and I'm going to pull those tails down, and I'm trying to manipulate this loop a little bit so that it will look poofy. I like a little poofy bow. There we go. Isn't that so cute? Now I'm going to tie it down tight, and then I'm just going to come in again with my fingers, and this ribbon is so forgiving. It's almost like wired ribbon, but without the wire. I don't know how they did that, but it's gorgeous. All right, and there is our card. So pretty, such detail in it that it makes it just absolutely gorgeous. I think anybody would be glad. And you might say, where do you sign at? You got a whole back place back here, and if you wanted to, you could use like the ornate frames and do a black frame and then a white piece on top of that and write a personal message back here, or just sign your name here at the bottom. But I think it's gorgeous, and I think anybody would love to get a card like that for their birthday. So that's one done. Let's go ahead and work on our second one. Now my second card is going to be quite a bit different, because here are my pieces. I'm going to move my ribbon over here. Let me get some of this little glitter off of here. That ribbon does seem to shed just a little bit, so you will have a little bit of glitter residue behind. I'm going to put my crocodile back, and let's get these stamps put back where they belong. And I think they went back on the, here's a card. And now let's work on this one. Again, the measurements are identically the same. We have, I just changed up my colors. I've got Pear Pizzazz for my card base. 4 1/4 by 11s, 4 at 5.5. And I've got my two larger pieces, one for the slider and one for the, I'll take these pieces off, we don't need them. One for the slider and one for the front cover. So we're going to lay the front cover one over to the side, and then we have these two pieces for our little slider. And then we have our two pieces here. That's our mechanism. So all of those go together. So I'm going to lay these over here. And again, let's work on our mechanism. So I'm going to do the very same thing we did before. We're going to put this one right here in the middle. Get that evened up a little bit more. Get that right about there. Grab my pencil. Looks like my lid has come all the way out. We're going to fix that. And I'm going to draw my line. And then I'm going to turn it around. Do the same thing down here. Let's get this fixed up right in between those lines. Line that up on that little 2-inch in between. Draw the line. Oops, that looks a little off. Let's come over to there. There we go. Alright, we're going to lay these pieces up here because we know we're going to need to use them. We're going to grab this punch again, and we are going to go all the way in up to the corner of that mark and punch, and come down to here, all the way in, punch, turn it around, do the same thing again, come to that line and punch, and down to that line and punch. Give us our track. And then again, we can erase this line if you like. Totally up to you. You saw a while ago that line never would have shown because it was covered. Now we're going to turn our card this way. We're going to take one of our little pieces and we're going to center it right over top there. About like, oops. About like that. And we need our mini glue dots. And we're going to take and put This one should go a lot faster because I'm not going to explain everything like I did before. We're going to put one there. And one right here. We're going to go ahead and take those, oops. Let's bring that back down and take our little backers off. And we're going to use that other piece. Let's get this lined up back in here again. Oops, down too far. Just like that. And now what we're going to do is we're going to put this one right over top of that one. Press it down, and now we can go ahead and put our pieces together. So I'm going to go ahead and put some liquid glue on the back of these. And then we're going to put these on the same way we did before, just very careful to get our borders correct. And then we're going to do the same thing with the little one. And this one's going to be so fun because we're going to use the Hey Chick stamp set and some of the dies, so it's going to be adorable. There's those two pieces. While we're gluing, let's go ahead and do the front. You can see after you make one of these how quick you can put one together. They just basically fly together. And you can decorate them, and that's the reason I'm showing you in 3 different stamp sets and die sets how you can decorate these in so many different ways. I think a lot of times when we see a card, we think that it has to be a certain way, and it doesn't have to be. So, you know, sometimes we just think that things have to be exactly the way we see them, and when in actuality your creativity is what makes your cards yours. So even if you use a card design like this from someone else, you can make it yours just by what you put on it. So remember, the front, the small piece goes on the front, so I'm going to take that all the way up to the top, and we are going to use the Stampin' Seal Plus. And I'm going to put down a generous amount to make sure that that holds in place. Now, if you get it all the way over, like I just did, roll that off. You do not want any adhesive to go up underneath the edge of that. So we'll just rub that right off of there. And now the small piece is going to adhere right to the bottom, just like that. Sorry about my phone dinging in the background. I was expecting a business call, so I did not want to turn my phone off. Now we're going to do the same thing here, and we're going to center that onto the back. And I'm going to use the Stampin' Seal Plus again. Just making sure that I'm getting a good amount of that adhesive on this piece, because this piece will get wear and tear because it will be slidden up and down quite a bit. So let's put this piece, getting it even, and I'm looking at the side to side, and just press it down, and there is your mechanism. And you know what I forgot to do again? I didn't do my I told y'all I always forget to put that little thumb print thing in there, so we're going to do it now. I'm going to look and make sure I'm getting it about halfway. And maybe I can do that. I probably could have done them both right there. I was able to drop that down far enough where I could do it. Alright, so we got that done. Yep, that looks good. So now both pieces are on here. I'm going to pull them both up to the top, just like that. Maybe slide it down slide it down to right here because I want it to hit to that top edge. This is very important when you put down your dimensionals here to hold it. You want that to be up to the top, and you might even want to lay something there on it. A lot of times I'll just take and lay a bone folder or something just to kind of hold it. Grab your dimensionals and put those, and I like to press that flat side right up against the bottom of that piece of cardstock. That lets me know that that's going to stop it from going any further down than it does. Now we need our tearing tape, and I'm going to turn it back around to the side, making sure I keep that nice and straight. And I am going to run this, like I said, as close to the edge as you can possibly get it. Just like that. And the same thing on the other side. And tear it just there. And now I'm going to also put a piece, right across the bottom. Right about there. And we're done with the tearing tape. Okay, so now we can hold this piece right here in the middle like that. Use our, take your pick tool, and we'll pull those backers off and pull these off. This is where the take your pick tool is just indispensable. The fact that you have so many different elements to this this tool, it just makes it absolutely one of your go-to craft supplies. Alright, I'm going to hold that down, and then I'm going to press this shut. And I've got a little bit of a hangover right here with my adhesive, and I am going to press that down, and I might have to take my little Xylon eraser and just pull that off. This is another one of the little tools that you'll have in your craft room that you will use. It pulls adhesive off of your cardstock so beautifully. And there is our mechanism. And then again, we're going to put this over top of it, just like that, using our dimensionals. And like I said, just one on each corner is all you need. And then once we do that, we're going to decorate this with our little A chick. And I think it's going to be so cute. Some of the pieces I've got, I'm not sure exactly, I haven't really worked it out in my head, but I've got a whole bunch of pieces that I have die cut and colored that are ready to go. So it shouldn't take us long to put this together. So let's make sure that's where it needs to be. And now we're going to put this down, getting it nice and centered. Just like that. Isn't that cute? So again, I've got another, oops, why is that not sliding? I've got it hooked in adhesive. This one went sideways and it got hung on there. Okay, there we go. Okay, that's how you have to be careful to make sure that your adhesive doesn't come in contact with anything. And that's what happened right there on the top corner. It caught that glue dot and then it would not come up. So, you know, just make sure when you're gluing your pieces, you want to look for everything to line up nice and straight. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and punch my hole right there in that top piece for my ribbon. So we're going to punch right about here and get that out of our way. And now we're going to pull over all of our little chickies and fences and little hen house. And look at that hen house. Is that not adorable? I think she needs to be right there. Let's see which hen house I like the best. Oh, I like the red one. Isn't that pretty? I also loved this chicken. Kind of looking back at our crazy bird. And that's so cute. Love it, love it, love it. I don't think I'm going to use the fence or the little chicken coop wire. I think this is what I want on the front. I love that. So we're going to, like I said, we're going to pop all of this up so it has some dimension, because this is the area that we can use dimension on. And I love dimension on my cards. But then if you've been following me for any length of time, you already know that. And if you haven't been following me for any length of time, now you know it. So let's go ahead and get these all off. And let's put our little chicken coop right there. Oh, so cute. I love that chicken coop. And this bird right here, she has stole my heart. I love that crazy hair of hers. And this one thinks, oh my gosh, what a crazy little cluck she is. But you know what? This girl right here knows how to have fun. So let's put some dimensionals on her. But I'm going to limit my dimensions to this half of her, because I'm going to let half of her hang off of the card. About like that. So I'm only going to put dimensions from her, the middle part of her legs, over to here. So we're going to put one there and one there, and maybe one right there. Now let's go ahead and pull those off and get her stuck down. Just like that. And now this little girl, she's got to be stuck up too, because she is just having way too much fun with her party hair. Oh, she's so cute. I love coloring this little crazy chicken, and that's what I call her, my little crazy chick. And she is just so too cute for words. And she's going right there. And we are going to do one other thing. I am going to put, I've got a whole bunch of stuff right here. We are going to put a corn stalk right between them, because that corn is just too cute for words. And we're going to also put some corn on our little corn stalk. Look at this. Oh, so cute. If we can get that under there. Maybe I should have glued that down first. It's okay. We can still manage. Look at that. Oh, too cute. So we're going to pull that up, and this is definitely going to need some liquid glue. And I'm just going to dab a little bit on each one of these stalks, or I guess they're the husk. I've grown corn. I ought to know that, but it's been a long time ago when all my chickadees were little. We always had a garden. We always planted corn. And nothing like having a garden with fresh grown veggies in the summertime. I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool and see if I can kind of manage that one underneath there. Even if I have to cut it off, I want it to go up underneath her. And maybe underneath there. That's good. That's what I was looking for. And this one, yep. Again, Take Your Pick tool, you cannot go wrong. I'm not sure if I don't want to put another one on top of that one. That'd be overkill. We'll just leave it at this. And let's see, we're going to need a couple of, I'm just going to dump all of this out so I can get to it. And yes, we're going to have a major mess here now. I know I cut some little corns. Oh, here they are. There's one. Look at those little corns. Are they not the most precious thing you've ever seen? And you've got the little greenery, which is the corn husk that they go in. Look at that. So adorable. So I'm going to put just a spot of glue right there. And we are going to put the corn right side down into that glue. I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool to do that because it is so tedious. And then we're going to have these little corns hanging off of this corn stalk. Just like that. So I'm going to put some glue right here. This time I am going to use the Take Your Pick tool. And we're going to have some corn hanging off. How about that? So cute. And where is my other corn? I don't know. There's one. I know I punched about 4 of these because I knew that I wanted to use those on this card. And now I've lost them. Well, I did find 2. They might be under my Post-it notes. Yep, they are. I had Post-it notes in a tray over here. And the corn slipped down underneath my Post-it notes. That's okay. I dug them out. Alright, we got one on there, so let's go ahead and get our second one. I'm going to turn that one over because I want to put it upside down in this glue. And like I said, these can be very tedious to work with, but oh my gosh, they're so cute. So there we go, there's that one. And again, I'm going to put some glue right about here. And we're going to pick that one up and sit it right there. And I think that's all I'm going to do. I think 2 corns on there be plenty. Maybe the chicks that ate all the other corn. Who knows? We'll pretend. Alright, we're going to pull this bad boy out. And I want to figure out what I want to stamp here. I know Hey Chick is going to be one. And Have a Happy Day. Maybe that'll be the second one. And maybe, how about You're a Good Egg? And we can stamp this little egg right here. Or do I have one already? I got one already done. We'll just glue him down. We'll glue him down right there with a little thing that says, a stamp that says, You're a Good Egg. That'll be cute. So, let's go ahead. Like I said, I hadn't planned this one out, so I'm kind of, putting it together on the fly. So we'll put the egg right there and ask that long, ancient question, what came first, the egg or the chicken? Everybody always wants to know the answer to that question, huh? Alright, I'm going to grab a stamp block, and I think I'll just go ahead and grab this one. And we're going to use a little bit of the Memento Black, because I really want it to show up good on here. And you see why I chose these colors now, because I wanted it to have a very farm look. So the Pear Pizzazz, and then I used the Pretty Peacock. I thought it was all kind of cohesive. You're a Good Egg. I love that. And clean that stamp off like I always do. And let's see what else we're going to put on here. Have a Happy Day. I think that'd be nice right up here. Yeah, why not? Have a Happy Day. So let's kind of get this right here. And I'm going to ink it up over here in my black, my Memento Tuxedo Black. And let me get this one up just where I need it to be, which is right there. And we're going to stamp, how about this way? Have a Happy Day. Oh, and look what I did. I made a mess. I knew when I put that down that I had rocked forward. Alright, so let's see what we can use to cover that up. You know, whenever you make a boo-boo, you gotta figure out a way to cover it up. How about these two little birds right here? Two little chicks. They're partying happy birthday. So let's see. I think those will work good there, and we can cover that up. Nobody has to know but us that I did a boo-boo. You know, we all do. We all have our days where we miss stamp, and when you do, you just got to figure out ways to either fix it or start over, and nobody wants to start over, so I always say try to fix it if you can. And let's see, have a happy day. Is that the one that I had? It is. We can try this one again. I'm going to clean it up really good. And we're going to try it right here. Have a happy day. We'll try it one more time. I do need to make sure that these are sealed down really good because I don't want them to catch. And they're catching already. Yeah, we're going to need to make sure you press really hard on their little feet so that when they go down into the card, they go all the way down. Alright, let's go ahead and do this. And I'm going to do this kind of at an angle. I'm being very careful not to rock that stamp. And we did it. Yay! I was so afraid I was going to get that on there again and then absolutely ruin the entire card. Alright, the only thing we got left to do is to tie a ribbon. And once we tie the ribbon, we can call these cards done. And I'll bring everything back over and show you all three of the cards and how different they are, and yet it's all the same design. Let's decide what we want to use on this one, and I am thinking maybe just some linen thread. Oh, what about this? That clash? How about just some black ribbon? I think that black ribbon. This was actually the black ribbon that came in my paper pumpkin last month, and paper pumpkins are due most any day now. I know that they are in the mail. Got notification. I can't wait to get mine. If you have not signed up for Paper Pumpkin, you are missing out. You get a stamp set every month and an ink spot, and then you get the supplies to make several cards, or sometimes they're boxes or bags, or you know, just different things depending on the season. The one that's coming out for February is going to be caring cards. So cards for sending to someone that just needs an extra little pick-me-up. So they're always wonderful little kits. I look forward to mine every month. So once I get mine, I will definitely do an unboxing, and then I'll come back and I'll show y'all some alternatives to what Stampin' Up's ideas were and what I did with mine. So a lot of us demonstrators like to do that, to show you that the kit's a lot more than just what Stampin' Up suggests you can use. Use your imagination, and it is always fun. So, and it's a great value too. It's you know, you can sign up, you can cancel anytime you want to, and it's just a great surprise in your mailbox once a month. So you can get a discount if you sign up for 6 months to a year. You pay all at once, or you can just pay month by month and, you know, forfeit the the discount. It's totally up to you. However you want to receive your paper pumpkin and pay for your paper pumpkin, because everybody's budget's different. So I'm going to pull that down just a little bit more like that. And this is a very fine ribbon, so I'm going to clip that off fairly up high. And now let's move everything out of our way, and I am going to bring back all 3 of my cards, and you'll have to tell me which one you liked the best. So there is all 3 of our double slider cards. So I have one here that's just like a little encouragement, or a hey, have a happy day card. I have a thank you card and a birthday card. They're all totally different, and yet they're all the same design. And how cute is that? I hope that you have enjoyed this video, and I hope this would be something that you would try. I know this turned into a lot longer video, but we did 2 cards, and but I hope you enjoyed it. And as I always say in closing, thank you so much for tuning in with me, being a part of my crafty family. May God bless you and keep you, and let everything that you do and say bring glory to our Father in heaven. He is so worthy. Until we craft again, God bless.